Good evening, and welcome back to the Archive of Truth. Welcome to News Around. In the glittering, often treacherous landscape of the entertainment industry, words are weapons. Sometimes they are wielded like broadswords, hacking through reputations with undeniable force. But more often, especially in the high-stakes world of Turkish celebrity culture, they are used like stilettos, thin, sharp, and buried so quietly between the ribs that you don't even see the wound until the bleeding starts. Today, we are navigating a storm that wasn't started by a scandal, a photo, or a breakup. It was started by something far more insidious: innuendo. We are turning our gaze to the simmering tension between two of the industry's brightest stars, Halil İbrahim Ceyhan and Sıla Türkoglu. A relationship that once defined a daily drama era has now transformed into a cold war of veiled expressions, misinterpreted interviews, and a silent fury that is tearing the fandom apart. Halil İbrahim Ceyhan gave an interview that was supposed to be a career retrospective. Instead, it became a Rorschach test for the industry. He spoke of professionalism, discipline, and fragility. He named no names. But in a world where everyone knows everyone's history, the silence where a name should have been screamed louder than any accusation. And on the receiving end, a furious Sıla Türkoglu, who feels that her hard-earned reputation is being dismantled by ghosts from her past. Today, we are dissecting every syllable of that interview. We are analyzing the psychology of the veiled insult, Sıla's elegant but sharp social media rebuttal, and the industry-wide panic about the dangers of speaking too freely. Before we step into this minefield of unspoken resentments, I have a crucial request for our loyal community. If you value journalism that reads between the lines and treats celebrity lives with the complexity of a novel, please make sure you are subscribed to News Around. And for those who wish to be the pillars of our channel, the true guardians of these stories, I invite you to click the join button right next to the subscribe icon. Your membership allows us to be there when the truth breaks. Now, let us decode the war of whispers. The controversy began innocuously enough. Halil İbrahim Ceyhan sat down for a recent interview, poised to discuss his trajectory, his craft, and the philosophy that guides his acting. On the surface, it was standard fare, a handsome actor reflecting on his journey. However, as any student of the media knows, the devil is always in the details. During the conversation, Halil shifted into a reflective mode, offering what he termed general assessments of his past projects and working relationships. He didn't pound the table. He didn't raise his voice. He simply spoke about the pillars of his work ethic: professionalism, established discipline, and the corrosive nature of communication issues. To the uninitiated, these are just buzzwords. But to the gossip columnists who have tracked his career, specifically the tumultuous end of his partnership with Sıla Türkoglu on Eminet, these words were not random. They were specific coordinates on a map of grievances. Halil uttered a sentence that has since been dissected 1,000 times on social media. In some projects, expectations may not align, which can create fragility within the team. Fragility. Expectations not aligning. These are polite ways of saying chaos. By emphasizing his own adherence to discipline, he inadvertently, or perhaps deliberately, created a binary. If he was the disciplined one, who was the source of the fragility? The vacuum created by the missing name was instantly filled by the public imagination with one person, Sıla Türkoglu. Why did these specific words cause such a friction within the Sıla Türkoglu team? To understand the anger, we must understand the context of timing. Sıla Türkoglu is currently in a career renaissance. She has moved on from the daily drama grind, establishing herself as a primetime powerhouse with new projects that highlight her range and talent. She is building a legacy based on her merit. And then, just as she is making headlines for her success, she is pulled back into the gravity of the past. The gossip circles didn't hesitate. They immediately claimed that Halil's words were a direct, albeit veiled, reference to their previous collaboration. Sources close to Türkoglu indicate that the actress was deeply, profoundly displeased. It wasn't just annoyance, it was a sense of injustice. She felt that her professionalism, the very bedrock of an actor's reputation, was being questioned in a public forum where she had no easy way to defend herself. How do you deny an accusation that wasn't technically made? If she speaks out, she looks guilty. If she stays silent, the rumor festers. The young actress reportedly told her inner circle, even without mentioning names, everyone tries to figure out who they're referring to, and this inevitably makes me a target for criticism. She is right. The innuendo placed a target on her back. It invited fans and critics to re-examine her past behavior through a lens of suspicion. Was she difficult? Did she lack discipline? These are damaging labels for a young woman in a competitive industry, and the unfairness of it has reportedly disheartened her. Sayla Turkoglu is known for her poise. She does not engage in Twitter wars, she does not call paparazzi to stage photos. Her strategy has always been dignity. And in this crisis, she adhered to that principle, but she made sure her voice was heard by those listening closely. Her lack of a direct statement was notable. She didn't issue a press release denying she was fragile. Instead, she turned to the modern battlefield of Instagram. She posted a photo, elegant and composed, accompanied by a caption that cut through the noise like a laser. Doing your job well is sometimes the most powerful answer. It was a masterclass in shade. Without naming Halil, without acknowledging the interview, she effectively dismantled the criticism. She reframed the narrative. She wasn't the fragile one, she was the one doing her job well. Fans interpreted this as a subtle, sophisticated dig at the tension. She was signaling that while others talk about the past, she is busy building the future. She operates on the principle that silence is sometimes the clearest stance, and in this instance, her silence roared. Mid-video engagement. I want to pause here and ask you, the insightful critics of News Around, do you think Halil's comments were intentional jabs, or just innocent reflections? And what do you think of Sayla's response? Is doing the job really the best revenge, or should she have defended herself more aggressively? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. While Sayla's camp is fuming, the view from Halil İbrahim Ceyhan's side is remarkably different. The actor appears calmer, perhaps even confused by the firestorm he has ignited. Rumors suggest that Halil believes his words were grossly misinterpreted. According to his inner circle, he was speaking from a purely professional perspective, discussing the abstract challenges of the acting profession. He maintains that it wasn't personal. It wasn't about Sayla, it was about the work. Among the rumors circulating behind the scenes is that Ceyhan commented to close friends after the interview went viral, "We don't have to be on the same wavelength with everyone on every project," saying this isn't meant to attack anyone. This defense highlights a fundamental disconnect in the industry. For Halil, pointing out a lack of synergy is an honest critique of the process. For Sayla, it is a personal attack on her character. Halil claims innocence, arguing that he shouldn't be silenced from sharing his experiences just because people might draw connections. However, the lack of a public clarification, a simple statement saying, "I wasn't talking about Sayla," has prevented this defense from reaching the public. By refusing to clarify, he allows the ambiguity to remain weaponized. As the parties remain silent, the vacuum is filled by the most volatile element in the celebrity ecosystem, the fans. This innuendo crisis has escalated from a personal dispute between two actors into a full-blown social media war. Social media is divided. On one side, Sayla Turkoglu's fans have mobilized like a protective army. They argue that Halil's veiled statements are cowardly, a way to harm her reputation without taking responsibility for the blow. They flood timelines with evidence of her hard work, her discipline, and her success, demanding respect for their idol. On the other side, Halil İbrahim Ceyhan's followers argue that the reaction is hysterical. They claim his words were general assessments, applicable to any number of co-stars or projects. They accuse Sayla's fans of being overly sensitive and reading drama where there is none. "He didn't name her, you did," is the common refrain. This fan involvement escalates the situation. It turns a professional misunderstanding into a tribal conflict. Every post is scrutinized, every like is analyzed, and the pressure on the actors increases with every angry tweet. Beyond the fandoms, the industry professionals, the producers, the screenwriters, the casting directors are watching this unfold with a mixture of fascination and dread. The repercussions of this process within the industry are significant. This incident has become a cautionary tale. Among producers, it is said that the language actors use in interviews is now more important than ever. Because a single phrase, even without mentioning names, can reopen old wounds and provoke unintentional conflict between parties who may need to work together again in the future. Industry veterans emphasize that behind-the-scenes communication is just as important as on-screen success. A reputation for fragility is damaging, but a reputation for talking out of school is also dangerous. Halil's comments, intended or not, have brought to light resentments that should have remained hidden in the vaults of the production history. Some figures in the industry maintain a pragmatic optimism. They argue that both actors are professionals who will continue working in the same field for many years. It would be more beneficial for everyone if these tensions were resolved quietly, without being blown out of proportion. But until the sensationalist storm subsides, the damage is done. So, what happens next? All eyes in the entertainment world are on the next steps these two actors will take. Will Halil İbrahim Ceyhan clarify his statements? Will he issue a peace offering, a public note to de-escalate the tension? It is claimed that he is uncomfortable with his general assessments being perceived so personally and doesn't want the matter to drag on. But pride often prevents clarification. Will Sıla Türkoğlu break her silence? Or will she continue to let her work speak for her? Behind the scenes, it is suggested that a stronger statement from either party could ease tensions, but both are notoriously private. Information from their inner circles suggests that Ceyhan and Türkoğlu prefer to focus on their work rather than get involved in disputes. Regardless of how heated the gossip columns become, the desire to maintain professional integrity seems to prevail. However, another detail being discussed in gossip circles is the possibility that this tension will continue with more indirect messages in the coming days. The subtweet era of their relationship may just be beginning. Social media posts, the words chosen in future interviews, and even their behavior at upcoming award shows are under scrutiny. Fans seem ready to interpret even the slightest action as a message. As we conclude this analysis, we are left with a stark picture of the modern celebrity landscape. Halil İbrahim Ceyhan's statements, made without mentioning names, have created a perception that is harder to fight than a direct accusation. He lit a match and dropped it, claiming he didn't mean to start a forest fire. Sıla Türkoğlu, caught in the blaze just as she was ascending, has every right to be angry. The timing was cruel. The method was unfair. But her response, dignified, focused, and sharp, shows a maturity beyond her years. Unless one of the parties speaks out forcefully to deny the connection, this tension is likely to remain in the news for some time. It is a ghost story, a haunting of the present by the unresolved issues of the past. We will continue to monitor the situation closely. Will there be a truce? Or will the war of whispers continue? What do you think is the best way to handle an ex-colleague who talks about you without naming you? Should Sıla call him out directly? Let us know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Please, do not forget to like this video if you appreciated this deep dive into the industry's hidden tensions. Subscribe to News Around so you never miss an update. And a massive, heartfelt thank you to our Join members. You are the reason we can keep telling these stories. Until next time, be careful with your words, for they have echoes. Goodbye.